Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is time for now our second semifinal here for the MLG Spring Championships. We already know one of the competitors that will be fighting it out in the winner bracket final, and now we're about to find out who that second individual will be as we set up this amazing TVZ matchup, Apollo. Millennium Stephano versus MarineKingPrime.
Oh my God, I cannot believe I am sat here right now about to cast this epic Terran versus Zerg. Two legends in their own rights. We have Stephano, the foreigner hope now. He is, after time after time after time, shown us he is the one, you know, that carries the flame. But this is a returning champion here, DJ Weed.
This is the returning champion from the Winter Championships. Of course, Stephano, one of the few foreign champions who is looking to secure a spot here. Already he's placed so high. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The game has begun. Let's make some noise as we introduce these players here in the southeast position as the Red Zerg. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Millennium Stephano. And in the northwest position as the Blue Zerg, returning champion from the Winter Championship. Give it up for MarineKingPrime.
Have fun, Imba man, says Marine King. Both of these guys going 5-0. The only two players in this tournament to not drop a game yet. And of course, Marine King demolished Symbol when we casted that earlier on in the tournament. Stephano has gone through complexity. Ganzi, he's gone through rain. He's gone through Pult. But now is the true test.
I know MarineKingPrime, you know, he's been the Zerg Slayer for some time. And, you know, based off of how he's playing as of late, you know, as you mentioned, defeating Symbol, getting his revenge after Symbol 3-0'd him. And, you know, honestly, this is the MarineKingPrime that we saw claim that champion. The one who said, no longer will I be second place. And I mean, Apollo, I think he absolutely is capable of winning and possibly a back-to-back championship.
I mean, it would be incredible, and I think we could see that, DJ Wheat. A lot rides on this very game we are watching here. Antigua Shipyard is slightly favored towards Terran in recent statistics, even though Terran are the race that has been having the most difficulty with Zerg recently. So really does balance out things here. We have a command center first down for Marine King. He knows Stephano's style. He knows there's no early pull coming. He knows he can get away with it and get that strong economy set up.
So, you know, some of the other interesting things about this matchup, obviously, as you mentioned, neither player has dropped a match. They've both, I believe, lost a game. None of them coming through the championship pools unscathed. But Stephano with the better record across the board, and I'm really excited. I mean, you think about the potential matchups that this could give. We've seen MKP versus DRG before, but I'm not sure that we've seen, at least in a championship setting, DRG versus Stephano, which would mean, you know, crazy a ZvZ in the grand finals. But I think it's really anyone's guess. I mean, Stephano has looked so stupidly strong all tournament long. The only time we've ever seen a single weakness is in the first game he played, the one versus Pult, to kick off this entire tournament, and since then he hasn't lost a game.
And look at this, TJ Wheat, an incredibly early third base been put down by Stephano, almost like he's playing against Protoss. He's delaying a queen here to get that out a little bit earlier. And well, let's have a look at the follow-up from Marine King. He's in gas, he's approaching 100 gas, which means, of course, he's gonna throw down that factory. And most likely, just having a single refinery will mine up to 50 gas to throw the reactor down to get those Hellions out. So more importantly, Stephano has the creep spread, but he's only on one queen, only just now getting a second to connect to these bases. He may actually decide to get a Roach Warrior early out to support that third base, because if he doesn't support it, then what's the point in even getting it?
And you know, I mean, that wouldn't be too unusual for Stephano anyway. We've seen him be one of the first Zergs to really go for that early Roach Warrior, not necessarily to use his aggression, but more or less to hold any sort of attack that may be coming. And my God, Look at this, a third CC going down for MKP. The moment that factory began building and the reactor went down on that barracks. I mean, whether or not these two can actually see one another through the fog of war, I don't know. But just the thought for what we could see potentially in this game is quite exciting.
And just for people wondering, the reasoning behind Stephano opting to take a third base, if you think about how he plays against Polt, has he ever done this? No, because Polt is a different kettle of fish here. Polt is an aggressive player, but Marine King is a player that focuses on macro, focuses on, I'm not going to die early, and if I don't die early, I will never stop the aggression from the mid to the late stages. Already setting up double engineering bay before he even thinks about getting some solid units out here. And Stephano analyzes Marine King as a player and says, well, that's his style. I'm going to do the same. And as you see the double evolution chamber coming down, not opting to get roaches. He knows he doesn't need to defend against anything here. And Stephano going toe-to-toe with the MarineKingPrime. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There, the Roach Warren does go down inside the main, just next to that right geyser. And so we'll see exactly what he's going to go for in upgrades. It is going to be +1 carapace. And I assume he's going to go melee, and he does go melee. The first 4 Hellions are out, but we've got 6 on its way. Now, are we going to get some roaches out before these Hellions make it over to the third? There are a few drones over there, but he could effectively stop that, at least temporarily. There's 12 lings on the way now for Stephano, as he's currently sitting at 49 drones to the 38 SCVs of MarineKingPrime. Now, behind this, we are going to see 2 more barracks going down, and rightfully so, to be expected since we have these double engineering bays and the upgrades already pumping out. And here we go, the Hellions entering the third. And he does have speed links to delay until the roaches come out, because that's 6 Hellions. That's a lot of damage available there. And oh, he's going to catch a few drones here. Marine King looking for an edge in this game, but Stephano buys that time with those links. The roaches seconds away from popping. Yeah, in fact, he's going to have 3 coming. There is 1 there, but the links have been cleaned up. He can still take a little bit of damage, but he decides to pull back. He does not have any more Hellions coming, so this is pretty much going to be it. But look at this, Zerglings and Roaches making their way across the map, and as MarineKingPrime sees that, he's got to know that some potential aggression could come here. We'll keep an eye on that production tab, but we see nothing but lings. Actually, hold on, because we're going up to layer another macro hatch, and the droning has begun. I guess he just wanted to push it forward. Maybe he can apply some pressure. Yeah. But this is obviously not any sort of game-ending attack coming out here by Stephano. No, absolutely. He's going to make sure that no third base is put down anytime soon. No greedy third bases are put down, because right now, Marine King doesn't have any units to defend anything. He would have to go behind supply depots, go inside a bunker, and these units were used or there to put pressure on if need be, if he sees an opportunity to do so. But more importantly, not die to any Hellions. Remember, Stephano is completely, clueless to what's actually behind closed doors. But he does know about that third base going down, and I think we're going to see a trademark Stephano style of play soon. As soon as that layer is complete, immediately starting 2-2, immediately throwing down that infestation pit, and he loves to do, and I am very super excited to see if it comes down here, a 2-2 timing alongside roaches, infestors, and lings here to crush as a Terran player setting off his infrastructure, because it's good right now for Marine King, but it's not fully set up yet. And we do have a drop making its way in, DJ Weed. Yes, we do, and it's going directly into the main. There's several, well, let's see, we've got a few Hellions and some Marines as well. In come the Zerglings to try to get a flank here on these units. He might be able to tag a Queen as well, but waiting to engage with those Zerglings before the Roaches get inside. He could just pick up, the drones have already been pulled off. A few units will go out here, and it looks like just a few Marines and potentially 1 Hellion does go down there. Not a ton of damage, but the drones were taken away from the mineral line, at least temporarily. And he's going to get a nice little scout there. The Queen was, nope, the Queen did survive that one. So this is just pressure coming from MarineKingPrime, and look at this. Wow. Behind this, we see an expansion into the gold for Stephano. Yeah, and Marine King has a 4th base of his own up now as well, and he did manage to pick off 7 drones, and at this level of StarCraft that we are watching right now, the smallest details truly matter, and those 7 drones at this point force Stephano to build more, to replenish them, instead of building his army, what he wants to do. And we have the hive being constructed now as well, of course, wanting to go straight into 3-3, straight into that Ultralisk cavern. But so far, Marine King having a solid game here, you know, approaching 2-2, and once that his 2-2 upgrades finish, and along with that +1 attack, he will start to make his push towards that middle. He will start to claim that gold base, to land a planetary fortress, and to start to dictate the flow of this game properly.
Yeah, now, I mean, it's nice to see Stephano actually trying to come up here and claim this center area. I mean, traditionally, this is an area that the Terran player is trying to occupy at all times, but MKP actually only rolling out with a couple of tanks. He does have a few sieged up back inside the natural, and he obviously spread out just a little bit, but Hive on its way. 42 more Zerglings are coming out right now, and look at this, MarineKingPrime is moving forward. Look at this setup here by Millennium Stephano. He's going to go in for a 3-point attack, coming in with the Fungals. We got Lings and Zerglings coming in from both sides. The Roaches hitting the tanks from the back, and what a beautiful surround coming out by Stephano.
But he didn't really land that many Fungal
No.
Growths down, and a lot of the Marine Marauders do survive there. Marine King has a decent turnaround in that fight, and all his upgrades connected as that hit in. 2-2 and +1 on his tank. Stephano is hard pressed, and he's about to lose that base. Our Fungal lands, but it's not going to be enough. There's no more Fungals behind that. The gold base goes down, and now the planetary fortress is seconds away from being set up in the middle. And once that is set up, it is going to be almost unbreakable for Stephano. The Ultras Cavern is coming down, and God, he needs Ultras right now.
Yeah, he does, and I got to be honest with you, Apollo. I mean, the sort of the way that attack was orchestrated, it looked like if the Roaches would have just come a little bit earlier to deal with those tanks, and the Fungals would have gotten more spread, obviously it would have done a ton more damage. But MarineKingPrime, one thing that he's done so well as of late, and he kind of even created this as sort of a staple, is the spreading of those Marines. We've seen his split during Baneling attacks, and we got to see it right there as many of those Fungals actually became fairly ineffective there. And now he's set up at the gold orbital right there, and look at the army that is right behind him. Another Ling attack coming in huge, and was he caught out of position here?
I don't know, there's a lot of reinforcements
There
coming.
are a
They have
ton.
great upgrades as well. As long as he stays away from the Fungal, he's going to be good. And
Oh
no,
my gosh.
Stephano can't lose these Infestors. They are so expensive. He's on 3 bases. There's no way he can replenish them. He's down to 6. He's lost so many. Only 2 Ultras, and Marine King is setting up now, and he is playing a flawless game here.
He is sieging up now on the creep. No Banelings in sight. The Ultras are about to pop. There's one out on the field right now, but he really needs several more. He's going to pull those Marines back just a little bit. And as you mentioned, we did see Stephano actually lose quite a few Infestors. Here the Lings are going to run in. Immediately we see 1, 2 tanks go down. Huge Fungals spreading across the army of Marine King. But as he takes down only the 2 Ultralists that are there for Stephano, he easily cleans it up. And there it is. GG, well played. And MKP takes game number 1.
And, well, that was a fantastic display of Terran from Marine King there, showing us that with no mistakes comes a victory there. And he made 0 mistakes. He capitalized on Stephano's mistakes and was able to just whitewash Stephano. And that was one-sided, man. I'm not going to lie. That was one-sided by Marine King.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we were going to see a little bit more coming out of that 3-pronged attack as the Infestors came up through the middle. But you've also, you know, it's hard to see it right there on the screen, but unless all those come in at just the perfect time, if the Infestors take the first lobby, then you're going to be in trouble. But anyway, we've got Mr. Bitter and Husky over on the analyst desk. Guys, game number 1, what'd you think?
Thanks, guys. It was a great game. Marine King just playing some incredible StarCraft at a time where in Korea, Zergs have won, like, what, 18 straight games in the GSTL. Marine King showing that he can still beat some of the very best Zergs in the world. I have to say this, these Infestor-centric styles have been very good for a very long time, but Terrans are starting to figure out that if they have a ton of Marines, they spread them well, and they have a lot of medevacs, you can offset a lot of that damage. And I think Stephano I think it kind of hurt him that he wasn't including any banelings in his army composition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the banelings are a necessity. A lot of times watching Stephano, man, he loves roaches and infestors. You see him use those a lot. But I got to agree with DJ Wheat, man, that pronged attack, you know, it has to go absolutely perfectly, especially on that map. You'll see it come down to that one timing attack many times on that map, especially in TVZ. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly what Stephano's going to pick for his next map because, you know, being down that first game, he is able to choose it. But I just got to say, man, the match we're watching now could easily be the finals of any other tournament out there, especially, you got to remember, since both of them in their group did not drop a single match, they did both lose 2 games, but not a series of games. So it kind of is rough for them that they have to meet each other right away. But I don't know, it could go either way.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Before we do, Mr. Bitter, damn it, that's why I love you. He needed some banelings. I absolutely agree. We need stuff blowing up, but we're going to find out what Stephano will do here in game number 2. The map is going to be, wait for it, Entombed Valley, chosen by Stephano, and that's coming up next as we continue this series at the Spring Championship. I'm DJ Wheat.
And I'm D'Apollo.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.